Hello and welcome back to another video here, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about a book that I've had for a while now in my collection here, and I find it to be a very valuable resource for bird watching and photography. So this is the Ohio Lake Erie Birding Trail Guidebook. This is a very nice, detailed, pretty thick actually, guide to the entire Lake Erie of the Great Lakes, of course, and how the bird watch basically up there. And it gives you tips about hot spots and photography locations and just particular standout species and target species of birds, of course, that you might have up there. So I'm just basically going over this little bit about this book today and give you kind of like some of my thoughts and kind of like a mini review, I guess, of the book here. So it was very affordable at $22. It has a nice kind of spiral bound, as you can see, and it's nice kind of laminated, glossy, almost kind of like water resistant covers on the front and back. As you can see, you've got a purple sandpiper on the back, and of course a scarlet tanager in full spring breeding plumage. And so the entire Lake Erie Birding Trail is a series of different hot spots and points along the entire lake, stretching all the way from Toledo to Cleveland, Ohio, and everything in between. And these maps, or rather these spots, are distinguished by this little, it's a black-crowned night heron, little sign there, and basically there's little white sign points as you enter a lot of these spots. And these can be everything from just little community ponds to little residential playgrounds and parks, all the way up to nature preserves, state parks, different parts where you can go, like fishing access lines and just back roads and pretty much anything you could think of that would be worthwhile to bird watch. And so it basically lists them all out, starting with all the way in the, let me see here. Basically it goes over different spots along the trail. It talks about weather patterns, different birds, even kind of does a big overview of like why birds migrate, which is really cool. And it starts off here with the Cleveland area loop, and it just kind of goes over. It has lots of visuals and maps, and of course like high quality color photographs here in the book. And it has them all numbered out, which actually those numbers correspond with the signs that I just mentioned a second ago. So it's nice to kind of see them visually while you're there in person, but also see them in this guidebook here at a glance. So it has different natural features, noteworthy rarities, and kind of goes over. So like here's an example up near Cleveland, Fairpoint Harbor, and it basically breaks down the location. It has photographs of like the landscape and topography, kind of has some noteworthy species and photographs of them, of course. Talks about amenities at the places that you go, such as like restrooms, picnic areas. It has the exact latitude and longitude GPS coordinates, and it also of course has the location address in full too. And so it basically breaks down what to look for there, all times of year. Of course, some of these spots may be more, let's say, productive or rewarding seasonally, of course, and also talks about the rarities that you might see at each of these spots. And it even has a little bit of a map with some like guidance and some directions to get to the locations and the best places to park along the way too, with driving directions. And it even cites the sources that it used for this information and local resources like the park districts that you may own and maintain, of course, these areas as well. So as you go through the book, like I said, it's all numbered and everything that corresponds with the signs, of course. And it just goes through basically tons of different locations as it stretches from, like I said, starting at Cleveland, and it goes all the way to the middle of the Lake Erie shorefront, and then it stretches out towards the western end, closer to Toledo and all that. So, and there's tons of different spots. I think there's actually 88 spots in total, and it shows them all in this book here. And talks about, like I said, standout species. Here's Castalia Pond, a place I haven't been to actually, but even goes over some of the most well-known spots, and it separates these by several different like quadrants or regions at each of these birding trail spots. And it even has in the book standout birding spots, basically highlighting one location a little bit more and adding a little bit more content info to them as each location gets a couple pages worth of info. So like on the western end near Toledo, this is of course a well-known spot, but McGee Marsh State Wildlife Area gets its own 2-page spread of photograph, just showing a bunch of the birders here in spring, and then also just going over in more detail a lot more about the location and basically what to look out for. So if you're really into stats, and I think most birders would be if they keep checklists and all that, and a life list, this is a great resource, and basically provides a wealth of knowledge, I think. So obviously spring is a great part of bird migration, but of course you can, even in the middle of winter, get some really great opportunities up there at the lake. And so this book details a lot of that too. So it's a very nice book. There's plenty of different locations to go through. It even has an index of each of the locations at a glance as well. And then it also has here in the back a master checklist, which literally goes over, of course, like a checklist would, what species have been recorded over history on the Lake Erie shorefront. And it even goes over which ones are common and what seasons they are, and breaks it down here. And it even talks about which loops of the Lake Erie birding trail and just also particular locations you may find these at. So this is basically a nice paper reference, traditional reference that is, compared to something like eBird, of course, for tracking checklists. Even goes over comments about each bird and different ones that you might have while birding up at Lake Erie. And then even in the back, it has a little laminated spread here in the back cover, and it stretches out to give you the entire map view, basically the overview. And like I said, it breaks it down here at the bottom with each of the loops here. So very, very nice to use. Even goes over some of those islands out from the shore, like the North, Middle, and South Bass Islands, Kelly's Island, of course, and Put-in Bay. So goes over those if you so choose to travel to those. And yeah, and even gives you a wishful thinking, potential birds you might see here in Ohio, at least along the shore. So stuff to look out for that may come up, vagrants, migrants, and other rarities really. So it's very much a great book, going over the ethics, going over why birding is even just a great economic resource and important to local communities and areas like up here at the Great Lakes, and why it's such an important thing for both the economy and just for people's enjoyment and recreation, of course, of bird watching. So yeah, so that was kind of just a basic overview of the book. Now my thoughts on it are it's very much worth the very low price, in my opinion. I would easily pay double, maybe even more for this kind of book, but at $22 or so, a very affordable resource. Now I got this one at the McGee Marsh Visitor Center about 2 years ago, and so you can probably, I think, order it online through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. If not, maybe check out the Ohio Division of Wildlife, because they're two big supporters of this book, and a lot of the locations they of course conserve and maintain are in this book as well and referenced. So very much a nice book. I'm really glad I got it. It's also just a nice coffee table style book, not quite a photo book as it has more information, so kind of think of it maybe as an oversized field guide, but a very good one at that. And it's something I think is a great thing to have and to learn more about birding here in the Buckeye State, especially up north. So I get 2 thumbs up here. I think it's a really good book, and I recommend you get it too.